I did not know that.
Thanks for stopping by. I did not know that. Please like and subscribe.
I'll think about it.
That's all I ask.
By all accounts, Marlon Brando was an unusual and eccentric man, one who marched to the beat of his own drum. He usually did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, despite what others thought about it. It's what made him unique, but also led him into behaviors which weren't always beneficial to him. It's estimated that the once muscular and physically fit star at some points in his life carried 300 pounds on his 5'9" frame. Brando had a lifelong friendship with actor Wally Cox. Cox was also an actor, best known for playing Mr. Peepers on television and the voice of cartoon superhero Underdog. Cox was rather short and thin and often played shy, nerdy characters who wore glasses. In reality, Cox was very athletic, quick-witted, and funny. Marlon Brando and Wally Cox first met when they were only 9-year-old boys living in Evanston, Illinois. The two immediately became great friends. Wally Cox had a sister named Eleanor who said that Marlon was a bit of a rough little boy, but that Marlon liked Wally because he was so smart and very funny. They both liked playing pranks on each other, and one time Marlon even tied Cox to a tree one afternoon, and he left him there. Eleanor said that she was surprised that they had remained friends after that, but they did. After World War II, they both ended up in New York, and the two rekindled their friendship. Brando was pursuing an acting career. Cox made and sold jewelry, but he also started doing comedy monologues at parties. This grew into regular performances at nightclubs, and Brando encouraged Wally to take acting classes. Eventually, the two became roommates in the cheap apartment Brando was renting. Brando had a lifelong love of animals. He grew up on a small farm that had horses, cows, and other animals. When he was living in New York, he had really wanted to get a chimpanzee for a pet, but before he did, his mom gave him a young raccoon named Russell. Maybe she thought it would be a good idea to give a raccoon a try before getting a chimp. During that time, actress Shelley Winters was working with Brando in a show and invited her over after one of the performances one winter evening. She said it was so cold in his apartment that there was ice on the inside of the windows and claimed he had the smallest electric heater in the room that she'd ever seen. He had Russell Raccoon in a cage, but the smell was so bad, she said that unless he put the raccoon in the bathroom, she was going to leave. So he put Russell in the bathtub, put a piece of wood over it, and faced the heater at the tub to keep the raccoon warm, which didn't make her very happy since she was freezing. Well, it turned out that Russell Raccoon was not potty trained, so that explained why Brando's apartment smelled so bad. While Brando said that Russell was a lot of fun and always a hit at parties, his old pal Wally Cox had had enough. While they still remained friends, Cox couldn't live in the stench anymore, and he finally moved out. So you might be wondering, whatever became of Russell Raccoon? Brando said that while he loved his pet, raccoons are nocturnal, so Russell loved to stay up all night, wanting to wrestle fight with Marlon. And the older Russell got, the more aggressive he became. So Brando eventually brought him to the family farm and set him free one night in the barn. Years later, Brando wrote in his autobiography that he still missed him. And his friendship with Wally Cox? Sadly, Cox died unexpectedly of a massive heart attack in 1973 at the age of 48. He was cremated, and somehow Brando convinced Cox's wife to give him his ashes so he could scatter them. She knew they'd been lifelong friends and trusted Brando. Remember when I mentioned that Brando did whatever he wanted to do? Years later, she learned that Brando had lied to her and kept Wally's ashes in a drawer. He also said he conversed with Wally's ashes.
I did not know that. Is that weird? Is that wild?
I would have to agree with you on that one. That's an odd story. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and see you soon.
Better